Rajasthan Royals 2025. No Josh Butler. No Sanju Samson as captain for the first three games. You got Rian Parag in charge. Man went from being the butt of the jokes for at least a couple of years to the captain of the team. What a turnaround for him. What are your first thoughts on the squad and the fact that Parag's going to captain?
Yeah, no, a lot of comments, a lot of discussions about Rajasthan Royals this week, but I think apart from all the talks about, as you mentioned, Riam Prague emerging, great story for him on the side for sure. I think it's a great team. I think, it's an interesting franchise. I think the franchise is obviously striving for success. It's, been disappointing the last few years, but they've shown glimpses and, they have a strong squad. And yeah, I'm more than more than ready to break them apart and see what they hold this IPL.
Yeah, I want to start with the bowlers first. So some interesting choices here. Some people that stand out to me, Fazalak Farooqi. So we know that Trent Bolt was in the team for the last few years, and it looks like they've replaced him with a younger Trent Bolt, if you will. He's been really good off late. In the last year, he's been one of the standout bowlers in the world in the white ball format, and I like that selection. And even Kwene Mafaka, like he is a new up and coming South African bowler, likened to Kagiso Rabada when he came out. He came up the ranks. Again, was molded in the under 19 levels. Bowls a quick ball. He hits 150 consistently. He's already playing all formats for South Africa, and he's only 18 years old. So those two names stick out for me in the bowling. And then, of course, you have the IPL legend Sandeep Sharma himself, Tushar Deshpande, who's had a good few seasons playing for Chennai. What is also striking is the spin options. They seem to be reliant on foreign players for the spin in the spin department with
Hmm.
Mahesh Tikshana and Hasaranga, and just the one spinner from what I see in Kumar Kartikeya, the Indian
Yeah,
spinner
no,
that is.
no. Yeah. They're spinning, and in particular, the bowling combination in general is very interesting. And you mentioned two great international players there amongst Faruqi and Mafana, but you don't forget you also have Jofra Archer, and as we mentioned, you do have Tikshana as well. So how are they going to utilize those foreign players? Because you only have so much. It does seem like, at least on paper, their only all rounder is Hasarenga. He does offer that spinning option as well, but you have quite a few foreign bowlers, and don't get me wrong, quality bowlers. But how do you balance that with the entire squad? I think it's going to be a little bit of a headache for Rajasthan.
Yeah, well, if you look at the batting, they don't have a lot of foreign batters. They just have
Local
Shimron
batting,
Hetmeyer. It's super
yeah,
interesting. Yeah. They're one of the only teams, I'd say, that has packed their squad with foreign bowlers and Indian batsmen, which is super interesting. And so they'll definitely play Shimron Hetmeyer. So there's one spot there.
there's one
And then you
spot.
have three spots left. I feel Hasaranga is going to take one of them. So that leaves you with two. And I have a feeling it, depending on the surface, it's either going to be Jofra Archer, Fazaluk Farooqi, and Mahesh Tikshana. So those three are going to play for two spots, and I think they'll swap based on the surface that they play on. So obviously, if it's spin friendly, Tikshana might come in, and I think Archer is going to probably swap out. I have a feeling, or no, they couldn't play him as an impact sub because you can only have four foreign players anyways, right? Yeah, so I feel those three are going to compete for two foreign spots within the bowling department.
Yeah, no, exactly that. So no, interesting. It is, I think, a little bit of a headache for Rajasthan, but that's why they have such a big think tank to begin with. So, and as
Yeah,
as you alluded,
and
sorry, go ahead. Yeah.
sorry, one more point. They only like if you look at the squad, they only have one, two, three, four, five, six international players. So they're pretty light on that on the international play, whereas some squads may have seven, eight, nine, 10 even, I'm sure. But they're pretty light on that. So they're relying a lot on these six.
Yeah, no, exactly so. And I think, a part of that is, as you mentioned earlier, their domestic batting. They have Indian batting straight from 1 to 5, and it's an interesting combination. Did you want to give us your first thoughts on their batting?
I like the batting. I think it reminds me of an up and coming Indian team. The batting lineup, it's like the next generation of Indian batsmen. Yashasvi Jaiswal is obviously already making a name for himself. Riyan Parag has been playing for India. He missed out because of injury. Dhruv Churel's played most formats for India. Nitish Rana is in the wings. I'm sure if he does well, he could get an opportunity too. And then of course Sanju Samson. He's India's best one. You could argue they're one of their best batsmen right now in T20 in terms
Yeah.
of form. And so that's a pretty strong batting lineup, and then you throw in Sherman Hetmeyer in there. That's a solid top six.
No, exactly that. And I think they're definitely gonna feel the miss of Sanju
Josh
Samson, at
Butler.
least in
Oh,
no, of Sanju Samson in the early days, because I think he is injured. And to your point, he was India's T20 opening batsman now alongside Abhishek Sharma, right?
yeah.
So we've seen how
He's
how
gonna play
uh, how
though. I hear
he's
he's
gonna play.
gonna
Yeah.
he's gonna be impact sub, so he's gonna only bat, but he's not going to captain and field.
Ah, gotcha. And look,
Yeah.
that also goes to show how flexible they are as well, because they have a few wicket keepers on the team. They do have Dhruv
Yep.
Jurel and Riyan Parag can put on the gloves as well.
Oh, really? I
Yeah,
feel like you know
and
how we were
Hitmeyer as
talking
well.
about the bowling.
I think Hitmeyer also.
Yeah, yeah, possibly. I don't remember seeing him with the gloves. But speaking of Riyan Parag, I think he's going to play a big role in the spin department. And I feel that is also probably
Oh,
why, yeah, because he's a bona fide all rounder. He maybe won't always give you 4 overs, but he'll give you at least two. Right? He'll give you at least 2 overs a game, and that's probably what you need. And if you can squeeze in a third, that's probably enough because then that helps with the spin side of things because then if you can get 2 3 out of Rian, then you probably need two other spinners only to have a pretty decent bowling attack because you're probably playing three pacers otherwise.
yeah, no, that's a very good point on the broader discussion of the bowling. I did fail to realize that Rian can bowl spin as well, and he has for I think he's done that under Rajasthan as well as I think a little bit under Team India as well. I want to say under Surya Kumar
Yeah, yeah.
Yadav. I think it's
Surya.
right.
Yeah.
So Surya, right? So no, he has proven that. So no, that's a great point. No, no, 100%. And that goes to show their flexibility, as I was mentioning in both the wicket keeping department and as you mentioned, they're also a little flexible in the spinning department as well.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. So what is the key player that who's the key player that you see for Rajasthan here?
Yeah, I think there's a few players there. I think the key player, especially, setting the tone, is going to be HSV Jaiswal. And I think, I think it's going to be a big season for him because he's knocked down the front door when it comes to, red ball cricket. But people say that he's not done that much of an impact for Team India in the white ball format. And so, I think this season is going to be very important for him to really showcase his white ball skills. So I'm excited to see him because I think he's a player who likes to prove people wrong. And so I think he's going to be a key player for Rajasthan to sort of be successful and a key player, for India's white ball format in general.
Yeah, I'm with you there. My key player is also Jaiswal. I feel like in T20s, uh, if you have a great opener or an opener that can score a lot of runs or openers that can score a lot of runs, you're usually going to be on the right side of the game in terms of winning it. And he's gonna play a really key role for if Rajasthan have to do well in this tournament. Him and Sanju together at the top.
Yeah, no, no, exactly that, exactly that. So, Tron, who do you think is the underrated player from this team?
Underrated player. Well, I was thinking Riyan Parag, but I don't think he's underrated anymore. We all know what he's capable of. I'm gonna say Nitish Rana. I'm gonna say Nitish Rana because
That was
he
mine as well.
he
Full of candidly, that
yeah
was mine as well.
awesome, awesome. So he got opportunities with KKR. He did well with them. He got the captaincy. I think it was because Shreyas was injured, if I'm not mistaken. Uh, but he kind of like he's he's in that he's in that layer of Indian players that just hasn't been able to crack the top level yet. But I think he has the ability to do so. He just needs more consistent performances and more scores in those crunch situations. And I think if he's able to do that, um, he will be talked about quite a bit.
No, no, exactly. So I think he's just been one of those marquee IPL servants, especially for KKR. You've always seen him in the purple and gold. And I think I
Hmm.
think he may also have one or two IPL championships under his belt, I feel. So no, I think he's a very underrated player, and he does give you to your point those quick 20s, late 20s, early 30s. But it'll be nice to see him sort of score bigger runs in more crunch time. So no, I agree with him. I agree with you on that.
Yeah, I feel like he's going to bat number three in this team. I have a
Yeah.
feeling he's going to bat number three, and that's a big role for him to play. And I also
Hmm.
feel he and Rian Parag. I forgot that he both spin too, so he can probably contribute a couple overs as well. So between Parag and him, you have about 4 overs, I'd say.
Yeah, that's a good point over there as well. And then you maybe don't have to play your international spinner. So, that could then maybe allow you to play an extra international fast bowler. So, no, I think that's a good point as well.
Yep, absolutely. Cool. So where do you see Rajasthan ending this tournament?
As much as I love their jerseys and their jersey color, I'm still saying not top four for me. I just don't think that they have enough. I think their batting is great, but I don't think it's at the level of top four IPL firepower. It's to the likes of what we've seen in, for example, in Hyderabad, for example. And I do think there could be a potential gap. I know, we mentioned a few of their spinning options as well, but real all rounders. I think a lot of teams have really looked at that. And as you point, if they're going to use Sanju Samson as the impact player, they may want to have one or two extra all rounders who can bowl properly as well. But again, it all depends on how the all rounding spinning options we talked about perform. But I think those are some of the gaps within Rajasthan.
Yeah, I feel like they have all bases covered, but if there's an injury or there's like we're
Hmm.
going to see with Sanju Samson being out of the lineup, we're going to see how that's going to affect them because they don't really seem to have backups for stuff for different positions. All right, so that's going to be interesting. Um, so yeah, I'm with you there. I don't know if they have enough to crack the top four. Might be another middling season for them where
Hmm.
they finish in maybe fifth, sixth, around there. I don't see them being at the bottom of the table. I think they have enough there to win some games, and there's a lot of match winners in that team too.
Yeah, no, no, exactly. But no, again, they've always been an exciting team, right? And they got some, good firepower. But if they all blast together, it'll be good for the team. But excited to see them nonetheless.
Yeah, can't wait. Good place to pause.